fully aware of oppressive tools that people use against Black people.
Right.
And that is absolutely one of them. And so I just remember being like, okay, I'm going to have to like sit down. I'm going to just breathe, and I'm just going to like try to think positive, and I'm just going to do the best job I can so that no one knows that I had a stunt double in blackface. Because if my mom or anyone that I know sees this scene and notices like that wasn't you, and
Right.
was she Black, I'm going to have to tell them, no, she wasn't. And honestly, that to me was like humiliating. I felt very embarrassed. It was
Mm-hmm.
almost a victim stance of like, I can't believe I let this happen to me. Like, I
Right.
can't believe I let this happen,
And it wasn't your fault.
It wasn't my fault.
Mm-mm.
And it took me a long time. People have been asking why did it take me so long to say something. And honestly, it took me a few years because I had been like struggling with feeling like it somehow was my fault. And even my closest friends didn't even know that this had happened to me. The
Right.
only people who knew was my mom and my therapist. And yeah, I think that sometimes it's very easy to look at this situation and say, that's not a big deal.
Right.
Like, it's not a big deal. Like, so what? They painted a girl to look like you. Like, who cares? And I'm like, but it's the principle of the matter. And
Right.
it's the history on this action that
Mm-hmm.
is hurtful. And when you don't know the history, then sure, you're ignorant to it, and ignorance is bliss. So you're just living like, oh, this isn't a problem, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But I know the history. I know what blackface is. Even the history of film. Like the history of film, before they would ever hire Black people, they blackface white actors as Black people, usually to play criminals, thugs, and prisoners and things like that, because that's how, we were always being portrayed in
Right.
media and in film. So obviously when I saw this, I was just so sad. And then I was also